Another day. Another day. Another day in paradise. Trying to get everything to go right. It's one of those kind of days, you know what I mean? Trying to get stuff going right, it doesn't go wrong. Everything's going wrong, and you see everybody else, stuff's going right. Okay. All right. Oh, we're on? Well, I didn't know we were on. Oh, thanks, Lee. Yeah, okay. You know, you got a cue or something. Oh, gee whiz. All right, we're on. Hey, we're on. Hey, it's the world according to Torero. That's right. You are entering the world according to Torero, and we're on. We're live. Live. We are on the air and everywhere. Yes, sirree, from the community to the world. And that's one heck of a way to start the show right here on thepowerofvoices.com. Another day in paradise. And what a day it's been today. I always start out with a little weather report for the world and the rest of the country because, oh, it makes you so envious. I know. If you're listening to us here on the radio, good to have you along. If you're watching us on our IPTV devices on the social network broadcasting system and the digital network broadcasting system, good to have you along with us there. We are on Facebook.com/The Power of Voices, and that brings us out to YouTube Live, and it brings us out to UPeak and Ustream and Bamboozle. I think that's the new one, Bamboozle. And also Instagram and Snapchat comes your way on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero on AVTV and the Entertainment Channel on our digital broadcasting network. It's good to have you along. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for watching and listening. I've got kind of a funky week connection right here on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero or AVTV Live. Every time I'm at this particular location in Burbank, California, I get this weird kind of connection. I don't know why that is. Maybe you technical guys might be able to figure it out why I got this weird connection. Let me kind of move it over here. Maybe that connection will get a little better over there like that. Yeah, but it's going to fall down. You know, it's you get a little something, you got to give a little something up. You know, it's kind of how it is here. What if I move that connection down like this? Think that'll be better like that? Now I got a strong connection. All right. Hey, it's good to have you with us today. The weather is absolutely gorgeous here in Southern California. Beach weather in the fall, beach weather in the wintertime. That's kind of what happens here in California. The weather really never changes, and that's why we're the land of the homeless. Yeah, I think every homeless person in the United States of America has moved to Los Angeles, or Los Angeles, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Yes, we are the land of the homeless. I was down at Venice Beach today doing some real estate. As you know, I'm a real estate broker for, about 40 years here in California, loan broker for about 20 years. And I was down there doing some real estate, getting a deal signed off by a buyer, buying some beachfront property. At least I'm trying to make something happen down there. And I just blew my mind how many people didn't take a bath. I swear, I was entering the land of no bathers. Instead of Venice Beach, they ought to call it the beach of no bathers. I have not smelled so many stinky people in my whole life at the beach. It was unbelievable. I mean, does anybody not take a bath in Venice Beach? Is that what it's all about? I'll tell you something. I'm not going out in that Pacific Ocean there in Venice Beach. I mean, they must use that as a bathtub. Oh, wow, man. I saw so many. There's something about women that have hair under their arms. I just, look at, ladies, you want to call me whatever you want to call me. It's okay by me. But there's just something about women that have hair under their arms. I mean, I can't tell you, it just... It just doesn't do anything for me. When you got this growing underneath your arms, ladies, when you got that growing underneath your arms, right? And you lift your arms up and it looks like that, forget it. I'm sorry. You got to do something about that. But at Venice Beach, we've got no bathers and women with hair under their arms. Maybe that's the trend. Hey, good to have you along. Mark Yull is checking in with us. Hey, Mark, where are you chiming in from? Let us know on Facebook Live platform on ABTV, Live the Entertainment Channel. Also, Lee Michaels is checking in. Yes, thanks a lot, Lee. He's back at the studio making sure everything works and functions well. The super fingers of Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels. Yes, I knew how to control all the dials so well. Yes. Lee Michaels, the man of many fingers. Right. Also saying hi to, oh, yes. Oh, get away from me. Lee Michaels writes, you know what Lee says? He says, I like women with hairy underarms. Oh, Lord help me. I don't know. What planet did you come from? You must have came from the universe of hairy underarms. Well, I kind of like, you know what I like? I like ladies that have bananas under their arms, like this. We call them banana armpits, right? They walk around with bananas like that. For those of you who are watching on TV, I got bananas under my arms right now. Yeah, well, what can I tell you? I got bananas under my arms right now. Okay, so, all right, enough of that. So the weather is beautiful here in Southern California. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's beach weather, blue skies, no smog. You can see for endless miles upon miles. It's just a terrific place. The only thing that wrecks it is people. That's it. Just LA would be great if there was nobody living here. I vote in the November election here in California, Proposition 47. Okay, there's no Proposition 47. Proposition 47 that all people leave California and move anywhere else. Now California would be a place. Oh yeah. Can you imagine what California was look like in 1843, or can you imagine what it looked like in 1796? They actually had seals at Seal Beach. Oh, what a cosmic thing, huh? They actually had sand dunes up and down the California coast here in Los Angeles from Dockweiler, or that's basically Playa del Rey, all the way down past El Segundo. They had sand dunes as big as the sand dunes up in Pismo. They went in almost a mile into the LA basin, way past the 405 freeway. They actually had swamps. They had all kinds of fish, and they actually had whales off the coast because there was no breakers. You'd see dolphins. Can you imagine what it was like? My acting coach, Guy Stockwell, tells a great story. He's passed away now, been dead for a long time. I miss him so much. He was just a terrific man, a real good mentor in my life. And he said that when he was a kid and they were hired, he and Dean Stockwell, they were hired as child star actors at MGM Studios, which is now Sony Studios. He said that when he was 6 and his brother was 3, because he's the older of the two boys, back in the 1930s, they at one part of their playtime, they would get horses from the back ranch of MGM Studios, which is Culver City, and they would ride the horses to the swamps, and the swamps were Marina del Rey, right there, right almost near where the Power Voices is, not too far away, just around kind of the corner. Those were the swamps. That's where Howard Hughes built his aircraft company, right over there, and that's now known as not Silicon Valley, but that's known as I think it's called Silicon Beach. Because so many computer companies have moved down into that part of Marina del Rey and Culver City. It's now called Silicon Beach. So there were swamps there, and they would take their horses and have a great time, and they would see absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. They wouldn't see anybody. They wouldn't see anybody. A few farmers, and that's about it. In the 1930s, not much. A car here and there and whatnot. But they wouldn't see anybody. Is that a mind blower? I mean, when you take that drive now from Sony Studios on Jefferson and you go to Marina del Rey or Playa del Rey, it's insane. Hey, Mark Driscoll is on. Hey, Mark, you do need help, dude. Soon, very soon. It's hot. It's hot as crap, man. We need rain. We need lots of rain. That's what, you're right. Mark, you are right. You are right. We do need lots of rain. Mark Driscoll, everybody, great radio personality, terrific voiceover artist. He's been around the business for forever. And I believe he was a very good friend of my mentor, Walter Kahn, I believe. And Walter used to speak about Mark highly in that respect. But Mark Y'all says, rain? Hell no. It's been raining here for 2 days. Well, you must be up north or something, Mark. Mark Y'all, where are you at? Saying hi to Lee. Lee says to me, you're telling me a hairy woman is not sexy? That's right, man. I'm sorry. When you have this growing underneath your arms, these big hairy beastie kind of things growing out from beneath your arms, and like this, right? Right. And if you're watching, I got green and yellow hair underneath my arms right now in plant form, right? Yeah, I'm holding it like if I had hair underneath my arms, right? Because I was at Venice Beach, man. And I just saw a bunch of stinky people with hairy armpits and women too. Yeah, that doesn't do it for me. That's not sexy, man. There's nothing more than lets the brown beauty on duty down than a woman with hairy armpits. I'm sorry. What can I tell you, ladies? If you have hairy armpits, oh well, God bless you. But for me, no, thank you very much. No. Oh man, Scotland. Mark Yellow's from Scotland. Oh my goodness. Hey, see, I tell you, we're from the community to the world. We are on the air and everywhere. It's a brown beauty on duty, baby. Jesse T in the house, rocking for you and me. It's a Thursday in Southern California, rounding the week out, on the way to another great weekend here. And today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. And we're going to get to, we're kind of talking about some stuff right now. Right now we're on the topic of hairy arms. Hairy legs. Hairy legs don't do it for me either. I don't know. There's something about that. I don't know. I like a woman, not a man. Thank you very much. Dun, dun, dun. Not to say if you like men, and that's cool, men, if you like men, but this man likes a woman. What can I tell you? Hey, I'm kind of weird today. Liking women is weird, I guess. I don't know. It's like we're the outcasts now in our society. I mean, hey, if you like a woman and you're heterosexual, I mean, yeah, you're like, oh Lord, don't let him in. Put him in the back of the bus. I kind of like driving in the back of the bus anyway, because I get to see everybody that comes in, kind of observe the landscape. Yeah. All right. So, but hey, what can I tell you? All right. So, what is going on in Hoboken, New Jersey? I mean, really? The guy takes a train, the engineer, unless there was a mechanical and technical fail. This guy takes a train and he crashes it right into the end of the line, smashes through a big cement barricade into the building. The building crumbles. People are flying everywhere. Some people have died already and massive injuries. And, what's going on? Now they're saying it's not terrorists related. I hope it isn't. I hope it's not terrorist related. But look at. I know, it just reminds me of the big train crash we had here at the Santa Susana Pass and over here in Chatsworth, California. The MTA, the Metrolink, that is, which goes from Union Station downtown LA, one of the lines goes out to Simi Valley. Scotland, Mark Y'all says he's from Scotland. That is amazing because I have Irish background. I have Scottish background in my bloodline. Yeah, absolutely. My grandfather's family, ORR, were from Scotland. ORR is from Scotland and Ireland. ORR is Or. And oarsmen, or were the sides of the banks of the river. When you check it out, I've been to Edinburgh and I've checked out our lineage of our family name. They're in Edinburgh. And of course, just right Yorkshire, they're in England. But so I've been into Scotland. It's an amazing country if you ever have a chance to go there. And it is raining. He says it's raining for 2 days in Scotland. Well, not here, California. I don't think we've had any rain for quite a while. It's been a while since we've had some rain, but we had a lot of rain and snow this summer or this winter. Anyway, but back to the story. So this guy, I don't know if you guys recall, he's doing the Metro link, right? And he's an engineer, of the train, and it's in the early evening, and he's on his smartphone, and he's got this app on his smartphone about trains. And anybody who goes on that app can kind of talk to the engineers of trains, And so he's talking to this like 14 or 15-year-old kid while the train is zooming down the track, filled full of passengers on the way home. And he blows past and through the red light. Then he realizes that, he tries to slow down and he slams into a turn, and the train turns over and he crashes into things, and the train collapses on itself, and a lot of people die and get injured. It's the worst train accident in the history of the state of California. And this guy, I don't think he lived, but this guy, he was goofing around on his phone, so they retrieved his texts, and he was having these sort of, I believe, these sexual relations with this 14 or 15 or 16-year-old kid while he's engineering the train. I hope that situation in Hoboken isn't the same. But that just reminded me about that. What happened to the dead man switch? What happened that if you don't have your hand on the switch and it like skids to a halting stop? I thought those passenger trains had that so that the engineer had to stay awake. I guess that technology is too technical for today because we have computers and stuff, and that's replaced everything. But I hope those people are okay. That was really something. It seems like, doesn't it, that every morning we wake up to some disaster happening around the world? I was thinking about that this morning as I'm having my soft-boiled eggs, my red pepper, my carrot, my tangerine, and my alkaline water. Yeah, that's what I ate this morning. Healthy breakfast, huh? So I was thinking about that. Every day I wake up and I flip on Fox or CNN or anything, and sure enough, there's some major disaster that halts and stops the whole world. Every day. I'm totally burned out. I wish that they would talk about unicorns and fairies, or they would talk about the Wizard of Oz, or they would talk about flying monkeys, or they would talk about anything. But it's like every day there's some disastrous thing that's going on. It's like sensory overload, don't you think? For me, it's sensory overload. I'm just so overloaded. It blows my mind. Every day there's something negative. It's hard to start your day off in a positive way. I think the only way you can do that is don't watch TV or listen to the news, but listen to the Jesse T Show, because he's got some good information. Every day, live at 5, Monday through Friday. We are on there and everywhere. Of course, you're in the world according to Torero, and you're straight on the point. And it's good to have you along with us. I'm feeling a little bit better, got a little bit under the weather there, but I started taking a lot of organic type, natural antibiotics. I've been trying to stay away. I cut most of the sugar out of my system, cut almost all the bread out of my system. I cheat a little bit here or there, but I try to be as religious to it as I can. And I got to get that glucose down, and I have to maintain good health as I grow older and older and older, because I do want to live a nice long life. Certainly would like to see the teeth fall out of my face and dribble on my shirt. So that would put me at maybe about 105. That would be kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, why not? 105 would be kind of cool. I might be too old. Have you ever thought about maybe getting too old is like getting too old? I don't think I'd want to be too old that I couldn't do things because I was too old. I want to be too old if I can do the things that I can do, and being too old wouldn't stop me from doing the things that I want to do. But if being too old would stop me from doing the things that I would want to do because I was too old, then I don't know if I'd want to be too old, because then it would be kind of a drag to be too old. And, what fun is that, right? Wait a minute, did I make any sense there at all? Let me retract. Let me think about that. That's thinking music. Yeah. Oh, I put one too many too olds in there. So I retract one too old. So the most powerful antibiotics that you can take that you don't have to go to the doctor are these. I told you we're going to cover a whole bunch of things today because it's Thursday. It's a thunderific Thursday. As one of my all-time favorite radio personalities here in Los Angeles used to say, the real Don Steele. 93 KHJ, it's the real Don Steele on a thunderific Thursday in Southern California. And here's the Monkees on 93 KHJ. Right? That was a real Don Steele. I love Don Steele. He was great. I used to listen to him on my transistor radio when I was 6 and 9 years old. And Humble Harv, that was another great radio personality here in Los Angeles. He's about 85 now. Humble Harv was so cool. Humble Harv was the most soulful white dude you'll ever meet. I mean, he was so cool. This guy he was so soulful and so funky, kind of soulful, slow, kind of cool, right? The morning, baby, Humble Harv. That's right. It's a Thursday in Southern California. I'm going to go to Mama Sita's closet. There's a Humble Harv for you, right? I mean, the guy was just, man, it was so great. And so it's a Thursday in Southern California, and it's a great Thursday because it's getting close to the weekend. And this weekend, we've got some good things. We're going to be out with Ed Asner this weekend, and Mark Rydell, David Lockhart, Natasha Blasik. We're going to be out at the Artist Palooza in Long Beach. It's a festival of outdoor plays featuring the 7-time Emmy winner Ed Asner and 22-time nominated for an Emmy Ed Asner. I mean, his credit list is like 47,000. And then Mark Rydell, the nominated Academy Director for On Golden Pond with Henry Fonda and Jane Fonda. Remember that? What a great movie. And Mark Rydell worked with everybody. Steve McQueen, Barbara Streisand, John Wayne, Lee Marvin, Kirk Douglas. He worked with everybody. Tony Curtis, Bill Cosby, Cindy Poitier. He was a director of directors. And so they've got a one-man play called Oxymoron. And I believe they're going to be doing it out there. So you might want to check that out on Facebook.com/Jesse Torero. So that's happening on Saturday for us. And Friday night, Dan the Man, the package, and I are going to get into some mischievous, behavior somewhere. That I promise. So 11 most powerful antibiotics. I mean, if you're having some trouble, folks, these are some of the things that you should be really digesting, okay? Just to let you know. You should be drinking this kind of stuff. This is great for your defense mechanisms, and it really fights off all illness. And what do you think about this? It really will help your immune system. And these foods are super booster foods, for your body. It just sucks them up. Alkaline water, of course, I'm a proponent for, but this stuff helps you fight all those nasty bugs that come around in your system now. And we got more nasty bugs because of so many new peoples coming to America from countries that they didn't have the type of medicines and the type of cures and the type of inoculations for different diseases. And it's like we've got so many things new and that are coming back, and we have those little bugs that don't even they look at the medicines we're using, the antibiotics, and they snub their nose and go, yeah, right. Doesn't even touch their armor. Superbugs. So we've got to get back to nature because nature has something to take care of every ailment that you have and I have in life. So these are a couple things you might want to use and put in your refrigerator and stock up on, especially, if we have an apocalypse of zombies that take over the world because of an EPM explosion. You don't know what an EPM explosion? That's if they explode something about 20,000 feet in the air. The North Koreans can do this, by the way, and so can the Chinese and Russians. They just fly a plane over, explode this thing in the air, and it disrupts all the electromagnetism and everything. In other words, the world will go dead that it explodes over for something like 500 square miles. It destroys every computer chip and every electrical wire. It fries them instantly. Just fries them. Fries them. You have to put stuff in a certain box, a Foley box. A Foley box is like metal with some foil all around it that will reflect this electromagnetic explosion. Look that up. It's a Foley box. So I've got some Foley boxes, like important things in there. But when all the computers go down, that means all the cars are going to go down. Pre-1973 car, you got to have at least one car, because that way they don't have a computer chip in them, you see? And it will always start up and drive up because it's old school. That's right. It's got points and a carburetor. Ooh, what a concept. What's that? Yes. Yeah, I like that. Remember, though, to take your battery out and put it in a Foley box, because it will fry the battery, too, as well. But as long as you protect your car battery, you'll be okay. But the new cars, forget it. They're gone. The new motorcycles, they're gone. The airplanes will fall out of the sky. The ships will crash into the harbors. And the cars will drive off and stop in the middle of the freeways. There'll be millions and millions of collisions all around everywhere. Every street light will stop. Every computer will stop. Every water treatment center will stop. Every gas line will stop. Every gas pump will stop. Every ATM will stop. Everything will stop in an EPM explosion. Heart makers, pacemakers, lung machines in the hospitals will stop. The generators will stop. Anything that has a computer chip, your watch will stop. If you have a computer chip in your computer, it'll stop. Of course, you do. Everything stops. Your air conditioner will stop. Your heater will stop. Your refrigerator will stop. Your stove will stop. The grocery markets will stop. The lights will stop. Everything will stop. Just like that. You talk about dead silence and going blackout. You go back, we'll be shot back to medieval days in the split of a second. That's called an EPM explosion. That frightens the crap out of me, because that one the North Koreans can do. All they got to do is fly a jet over it and hit the button, and LA is down. All our infrastructure will shut down. I mean, you think you turn the water on, it comes to you from some reservoir without any computer controlling some machinery that pushes the water down the way? Ha 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 ha. Right? So it's good to have these remedies that are natural, and you should prep. I'm one of those prepper dudes. I'm one of those survivor dudes, I'm one of those guys that can walk out in the middle of the desert with you, and we'll eat the right plants and bugs, and we won't get sick. I'm just weird like that. I don't know why that is. I've just studied that stuff. I don't know why I studied it. Studied it for a long time. I've actually eaten some of those bugs and plants just to kind of see what they taste like. Actually, some of them taste pretty good. Some of them taste pretty rancid. But if one bug keeps you alive, hey, that's all that really matters. Keep your family alive. But you got to know what to eat. You got to know where to look for water. You got to know how to find water where there's no water. You got to know how to make water when there's no water around to be made. Do you know how to do that? You know how to create water just out of the sky? Any sky, hot sky, dry sky, wet sky, cold sky. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you don't know how to do that, you should learn. I think so. I think that would be an important thing. You know how to sanitize your water without any kind of sanitization things, any pills, drops, droplets, or these little devices you can get in the surplus stores and prep stores. But if you don't have any of that, you know how to sanitize your water with sand, charcoal, and rock? Interesting stuff, huh? Okay, so we ought to devote a whole show to prepping. I think we'll do that next week. We'll devote a whole show to prepping. Put these things in your box at home. Apple cider vinegar. Oh, yeah, that's some of the best stuff you could drink. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar every day, you'll never get sick. That apple cider vinegar in your body will just eat up all the bad guys. And it's kind of got a kick to it, but hey, it's just a tablespoon. Put it and drink it, 1 tablespoon every single day. Just one. Doesn't matter what time of the day you drink it. You don't have to worry about eating around it, in it, out it, side it, up and down, or behind it, in front of it. Just take a tablespoon once a day. Apple cider vinegar. Garlic. Garlic is one of the best things that fend off viruses and bacteria. Hey, it fended off vampires. And, they're the biggest virus of all time. They want to suck your blood. Oh, I bet you believe that there's vampires, don't you? There are people. A buddy of mine went to a party 2 weeks ago here in Hollywood. This is how Sodom and Gomorrah Hollywood is, folks. This is how perverted and absolutely disgusting some of the people that live in this town are. It's unbelievable, some of the patheticness and the degenerates that live around this town and community in the Hollywood entertainment industry. I mean, the story out this week that one of the stars, and I'll remember his name in a second, was finally starting to cop a who raped him like 30 years ago. Big time director. It's just disgusting. You know, there's a whole porn ring that goes around Hollywood of underage children that the power brokers of Hollywood and the entertainment industry are actually push these kids around. Yeah, it's really something fit to be tied. But anyway, garlic is real good. Ginger, I hate ginger. I cannot stand ginger. I like Marianne much better than Ginger. What can I tell you? Gilligan's Island, Marianne was my girl. But Ginger was pretty cool. But Marianne, hey, anybody who wants to climb coconut trees with me and break off some coconuts, hey, look it. He's my kind of girl, right? Climb that tree and get to those coconuts, Marianne. Thank you very much. Yes, Ginger was cool, though. Ginger was a nice pace, but hey, Mrs. Howell, whoo, baby. That's right. Hey, yeah, Jesse the Gigolo of Gilligan's Island. Yeah, baby. That's right. Woo, yowza. I never understood why I couldn't get off Gilligan's Island. The professor was like a genius. He could do everything in the world, but he couldn't figure out how to make a friggin' boat. I think the professor was on coconut crack. Cocoa crack. That's right. A cocoa crack. Maybe that's why they never got off Gilligan's Island. They were the processors of cocoa crack. Ginger. Horseradish root. That's like horseradish. And it's a root. Okay, you can get it at a good quality produce store. Onions. My mother used to eat onions like we eat apples. She would eat an onion. She loved onions. Onions are good. Habanero peppers. Habanero peppers. Habanero. Habanero peppers. Okay? Oregano oil. Not just the oregano, but the oil that they squeeze out of it. It's like marijuana plants. They squeeze the oil out of it. It's the oil that has all the medicinal qualities, not the leaf. It's the oil that comes from the plant that has all the medicinal qualities. By the way, on November 8th here in California, folks, we're going to be voting on whether or not Proposition 69, I believe it is, we're going to be voting on whether or not that California is going to go recreational use for marijuana. There was a long time that I was totally against it, but you know, I'm totally for it. It makes way too much money, and we need the money here. And the only thing that we have to worry about is a bunch of more DUIs and vehicular deaths and murders on the freeway because people are wasted. They're not just going to be drunk. Now they're going to be stoned. And they're going to be stoned and drunk and stoned. So, you know, that's one way to get rid of the population here in California is to legalize marijuana so that we got more stoned alcoholics. I love the thinking. Yeah, well, you know, that's what the rest of the country's doing. But, you know, our country's twisted in a lot of ways in its thinking, as far as I'm concerned. It's just totally twisted. And people are all twisted in and out. We've lost our way in terms of sensibilities and logic and common sense. In Colorado, by the way, where they instituted this stuff a long time ago and it became the first state of the union to go recreational use and medicinal use, they got more alcoholic stoners than anybody else. In fact, it's gone up exponentially. But the state has a lot of money. And, you know, after all, that's all the state cares about, right? The state only cares about the money, honey. They don't care about your family. They don't care about other families. Oh, gosh, no. And stoners, all they want to do is smoke because they're so selfish. And alcoholics, all they want to do is drink, right? They're selfish. They don't care about anybody else and people around them. Oh, as long as they get their way, right? Their way. That's the most important thing because they have rights to get high. Isn't that wonderful? But I will tell you that one of the reasons why I'm only for it, and I'm for it for this reason. The marijuana plant, the oil, has been a medicinal use for thousands and thousands of years, and it's actually a miracle medicine. It is helping so many people around the world, and in this country, since medicinal licenses have been given, and there's like 36 states that are allowed medicinal. There are 4 states that have recreational. on the books in November. 6 more states or 9 more states are going to be voting, California one of them. So this prohibition is going to be raised. And by the way, if this prohibition gets raised, there's going to be billionaires made. There's already millionaires being made. And I've got property in Adelanto, California right here because I'm a real estate broker. It is the first city in the state of California to have what's called, I have a trouble with this one. It's called the marijuana cultivation zone. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, that's right, Lee. I got it right. The marijuana cultivation zone. That's what happens when you say that 100 times real fast. I was having a hard time with cultivation. Actually, in the city of Adelanto, and I've got listings for sale, you can grow as many plants as the size of the warehouse that you have. Inside, it's legal. It's the first city in the state of California to do that. It's got to be covered in a canopy inside. And it's out in the middle of the desert, so you have to have all the air conditioners and all the water and all that stuff. But you can grow. And did you know that 96 plants of growing marijuana you can do right now in the city of Los Angeles? 96 plants you're allowed to grow. You'll make $1 million a year. $1 million a year off 96. Can you imagine what 30,000 square feet of marijuana growing plants? That's almost 3/4 of an acre. It's going to make you. And by the way, we are starting a bank, Green Horizons Bank. That's right. We're going to be the first bank. Brett Hunt and I were a founder of a new banking system that's going to allow us to take in that money where the feds don't allow the big banks to do it because it's against federal law still. But that prohibition, but we figured out a way. You got to hook up and let me know if you're interested in that. It only costs you about $4 to $10 million to get involved with the bank. But to buy the property, it doesn't cost anywhere near that much, and you just might become a multimillionaire faster than you think. 96 plants, that's all it takes. 96 plants. It's like 96 bottles of beer on the wall. 96 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. 95 bottles of beer on the wall. 95 bottles of beer on the wall. 95 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. 94 bottles of beer on the wall. Remember that song 96 Tears by Gary U.S. Bonds? So I don't know what the significance of 96 is. 96 is like 69 inverted. 69 is a good number. Think about it. Any way you turn 69, it's 69. Whether you turn it upside down or sideways, it's still 69. And 96 is like the two backs together. So that's like 96. I don't know. There's some significance there. And by the way, did you find out this? I'm telling you a lot of stuff today. NASA just redesigned our horoscopes. They just added a 13th sign. God is my witness. They just added a 13th sign, which shifts the date of birth down a couple of notches. So Virgos, who used to think they were Leos, now are Virgos. Virgos, who used to think they are Virgos, now are Cancers. Okay? Pisces used to think they were Pisces, now are Aquariuses. Right? So it's shifted all the way around. There's now 13 signs. NASA, it's a big thing in the NASA website. You got to check that out. The 13 astrological signs now, no longer 12. So I guess all those people historically that ran their lives by the astrological signs, like the Incas, the Pincas, and the Dinkas. Yes, the Incas, Pincas, and Dinkas. You never knew about the Pincas and the Dinkas. They were the Incas' second cousins, right? They had the Incas on one side of town, the Pincas on the other side of town, and the Dinkas on the other side of town. You didn't know that, huh? Oh, okay. They didn't teach you that in the history book. The Incas, the Pincas, and the Dinkas. It's sort of like the Mayflower, right? The Maria, the Nina, and the Pinta, or whatever that was. I never remembered those ships too well. I'll remember them before the show's out, I'm sure. But nevertheless, all these entities, like the great Roman emperors, the Egyptians, they ran their lives by these astrological forecasts, these astrological signs, right? The kings of Europe and all this stuff. We find out there's 13 signs and not 12. That's why our world is so screwed up. I just solved the Brown Beauty on Duty, the world according to Torero, me, Jesse T. I just solved why our world is so screwed up. We've been basing our lives on 12 astrological signs, and there's actually 13. Now, I'm a Leo, born in August 23rd. I'm right in the middle, so I'm a real Leo because I didn't go either way. I just kind of plotzed in Leo, and I'm still a Leo. But now there's that new astrological sign. Like my daughter and my dad were born September 1st. They were Virgos. But now they're Leos. And my daughter swears that she was better a Leo than a Virgo. She never agreed with the Virgos, right? So my wife was she was a Leo, all right? But now she's a Cancer. My wife's a Cancer. Please take my wife. Yes, I wanted to go. My wife wanted to go on a vacation, you see. So I said, yeah, honey, you want to go on a vacation? She said, yeah, we haven't had a vacation in a while. And I said, okay, where do you want to go? She goes, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I said, okay, well, we rented an RV. We packed all our RV up. We went on driving vacation, went to the vacation. I dropped her off and went home. Now I'm on vacation. Dun, 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 dun. Shh. Take my wife, please, right? Shh. Hey, let me tell you, the flies got together in my backyard and they fixed my back screen door because my wife's cooking is so bad. Dun, 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 dun. Shh. Take my wife, please. Now my wife goes from a Leo to a Cancer. Take my wife, please. Shh. What am I, Henny Youngman today? I'm channeling Henny Youngman. Down the street from our studio at an undisclosed place there in the swamplands of Marina Del Rey, there's one of these operations where they take your money and they make you a better person, right? And it's LifeSpring. And LifeSpring got in a lot of legal trouble long time ago. I mean, they had a big multi-million-dollar lawsuit. We're like 4 doors down from our studio. There's these LifeSpring people, right? And they're just too friggin' happy. So I went over there to find out what it's all about. And so they got to telling me, and they're just too happy, man. So I told the guy, I said, man, you're just too happy. He looked at me with this big smile. Yeah, right. Apparently what they do there is they take your unconscious mind and your conscious mind. Oh no, what they do is they evaluate your emotions for negative energy and positive energy, and they teach you how to take your negative emotions and turn them into positive emotions, but not changing your emotion, because by keep being able to change the negative input or the positive input of your emotion, but not changing the emotion, allows you to have an inner strength and power, which allows you to go out and make $47 gajillion. Man, that confused the heck out of me. Will somebody give me some Amway soap, please? That's it. I'm going to go sell soap on Amway. Forget it. That's a lot easier. Anyhow, how do I get off on that one? I have no idea sometimes how I get on these topics of conversation. And they just, maybe it's a lot of people say that people are like ADD or ADR or RDT or DDD or PBP or whatever these stupid acronyms are for trying to figure out people's psyche and why they are who they are. You know what I am? AFKP. And I'm not going to tell you what that acronym is. Anyway, yeah, okay. Lee Michael says 96 Tears was by question mark and not the Mysterians. All right, thanks a lot. Didn't Gary U.S. Bonds do 96 Tears? Come on, he did a cover of it and he was a million seller. Oh boy, tell you, Lee.
No.
That's great.
No.
Yes.
No. The song was 96 Tears by question mark and the Mysterians.
But what about, didn't Gary U.S. Bonds do 96 Tears?
I went to school with him.
He did a cover. Yeah, come on. He did 96 Tears, right?
No, question mark and the Mysterians.
Well, what did Gary U.S. Bonds do?
He didn't do 96 Tears.
But what did he do?
He drank a lot of wine.
He got really pissed off at me at WEA Records in Burbank, across the street from Warner Brothers.
Really?
I was like, yeah, I'll tell you the story. Yeah, it's another story according to Torero, right? I got to tell you about the lesbian story, though, Lee. You got to know about the lesbian story. I can teach you how to be a better lesbian.
Now, listen.
What?
His was 2:45. This little girl, Dear Lady Twist, Twist, Twist.
Oh, go away from me. You
It's
didn't
Only
remember all
Love,
this. You're
Out of
reading off
Work,
the internet. That's not fair.
School is Out.
That's
But-
not fair, Lee.
But I'm just telling you, you
No,
asked.
no,
He
you
did
gotta do it
not
off
do
the top of
96
your head.
Tears.
Lee.
I'm old as hell. I can't tell
Lee.
you everything that he did,
Lee,
but he is from
Lee,
my
Lee.
hometown. He went actually
Listen to me.
actually
Lee,
went to
listen
school.
me.
I'm not going to let you talk me into this other
Lee,
crazy
Lee,
nutball whack
listen.
job
Lee,
thing
Lee,
you want to
listen
get
me.
into. No,
Listen to me.
no,
Come on. You know you want
No.
to become a better lesbian.
no. What?
Come on.
Me?
You want me to teach you how to become a better lesbian? Because remember I sold
No,
that house with
no.
all those people, and I didn't know that they were lesbian, and they
Yeah.
gave me all their books, and I opened them up like 2 weeks later, and I found out that she was a lesbian, and I knew her for 30 years, and I didn't know she was a lesbian
Yeah.
because she used to work at the post office, and so I read all the books because I like reading books. So I read all the books on how to become a lesbian,
But
and lesbian lifestyle, like 25 years ago, and now I can teach you how to become a better lesbian.
But you
I
can't-
got it in, Lee. I got it in on ya.
You can't teach me how to be a lesbian. I can't do that.
No, I can teach you how to be a better one.
No, I'm not a lesbian. So that's like Donald Trump saying, we're going to make America great again, you jackrabbit. No.
We are.
No.
Come on, man. We're going to make we're going to make America great again.
Whatever.
We are.
I'm not
We're
even
gonna
going to
walk
engage
hand
in
in
that
hand.
conversation.
So, can you sing 96 Tears for me?
No, I can't do that one.
That was a great song, though.
Yeah, but it was definitely not by Gary U.S. Bond.
Sing.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm working at 88.5 FM here in Los Angeles, KCSN.
Okay.
And I'm programming the overnight shift, okay? It was a rock and roll show. And this was a college station, but they paid, if you programmed a large block of time, they paid a minimum wage because you had to put a lot of time into it, all right?
Okay.
And so I'm programming 7 days a week, the Valley Rock Shift. And it was a pretty popular show back in the 1980s when new wave and punk and Sex Pistols and, the Dead Kennedys and all those people were very popular at that turn in rock and roll music. And so Deborah Harry and all those Blondie and the Police had just started and Oingo Boingo and all that stuff. Anyhow, so I used to go on these interviews. And I would take those, remember those little square recorders that were the best? You'd put a reel of tape on them, but they were the best. I can't quite remember the name of them, but the quality was so
reels?
great. Yeah, a reel-to-reel recorder. It was even better than the ones you'd have in the studio. They were just, everybody used them. Come on, baby.
And I was dancing all over the room. I thought you know the people were dancing like they were ready.
That was 2:45 from Gary U.S. Barnes. That was his big
Yeah,
1961 hit.
That's a big song, right? That's it, right?
Let me tell you that I never had it so good. Yeah, I know you never.
Start singing, Lee.
And that song was recorded in the back of a record store on Church Street in Norfolk, Virginia. One microphone
amazing?
and the band and everybody was in the room at the same time.
That's why it sounded so great. It sounded so
It was
big.
raw.
So anyhow, I'm sitting there and I get this interview. He was with Warner Electra Atlantic Records at the time, WEA.
Mm-hmm.
And I get this call to, you want to interview Gary U.S. Bonds? So yeah, of course, Gary U.S. Bonds, right? So I walk down.
Hey, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I said,
I walk down there. I go down there. I take the microphone. I got all these questions to ask him. Right? He comes in. He's got his hair is like as black as can be, and this big kind of high hairdo, right? He's got like a leather jacket on. He's Gary U.S. Bonds, right? And so we sit down, and I'd say hi to him and just the basic pleasantries. And I said, so Gary U.S. Bonds, so tell me about your song, 96 Tears.
No, you didn't. He said, that's not my song.
He got so pissed off at me, man. He got so pissed. And I looked at him and I said, I'm like 21 years old. I'm not even 20, I'm like 19. what was I, like 19, 20 years old. I said, he looked at me, I raised the eyebrow like this, right? The eyebrow, right? And he looks at me, and I looked at him, and he just glared at me, and I said, what? Did I do something wrong? He goes, yeah, that wasn't my song. And I argued with him. I said, yeah,
no.
it was.
Oh, no.
And the A&R guy's in the room, right?
He probably wanted to shoot you.
Oh my goodness. I swear to God. So I got through the interview, and they invited me. He was going to play at the Whiskey A Go-Go there on Sunset. Just one quick little hour show, hour and a half show, nothing big, right? And so, I got through the interview and stuff, but I never got another interview with William Records.
I don't think so.
Never got. And to this day, even now, even though I still think he did 96 Tears.
Give it up.
I know. You see, that's the problem. I'm a Leo, man. I'm a Leo.
Well,
not
really. Now that you just found out it's 13 signs.
That blew me away.
So what does that make you now?
Check on the NASA website. The whole world's screwed up. That's what the problem is. Yeah.
So what comes after Leo?
I'm not sure how the numbers are. Virgo comes after Leo.
So you're a Virgo now.
No, I'm a Leo. I'm the Virgos. They shifted back a little bit. All the signs, the dates shifted back. And so what happened was everybody who was right on the edge, like the first few days or the week of their sign, had shifted back into the sign that was preceding them. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm right in the middle,
This is 96 Tears.
That's 96 Tears. Yeah. Teardrops.
For one heart.
What a great song.
Carry on.
I love. Who did that song?
You're way out on top now.
Question mark and the Mysterians.
Since you left,
And Gary U.S. Bond.
No.
you're always laughing.
I never give up the
Gary
argument,
U.S.
do I,
Bonds
folks?
was a black guy from Norfolk, Virginia. And the question mark and the Mysterians was a white rock band or pop band or whatever you want to call them during that time. So not even close.
Man,
You
it's
got
hard
somewhere
for me
to
give
go.
up an
I see.
argument. You know that.
You got somewhere to go. I see you looking at your watch.
I'm trying to get the hell away from you.
Oh, that's easy. I can just turn my mic off.
No. Oh, this show has gone right into the street. It knows. Okay, more powerful antibiotics. Here's one.
Okay, here's a question from Facebook. Who was your best interview you've ever done?
Oh, the best interview I ever did? The most scary one from the most. What are you talking like the biggest interview or the biggest star I ever did?
It just says who was the best interview you have done. That's the question.
Interview.
That's from Mark.
Honest to goodness, the best interview I ever done. I have two of them. All right, there's two, and maybe a lot of people don't know this guy, Wolfman Jack. I interviewed him about 10 years before he passed away, and I knew him when I was a little boy, and then lost track of him over a good 10-year period, and then I saw him again and interviewed him. He was the most funny, most intuitive, smart guy, so creative and talented. That was one of the best interviews I ever did. And then the other interview that I really liked more than any other interview, and this will blow a lot of people away, honestly, Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be an interesting interview.
When I was at K-Day in Los Angeles, we were the first station to run Louis Farrakhan's religious broadcast every week. They on Sunday they would run probably 6 or 7, 8 hours of the big churches, like the church we were out at a couple of weeks ago, you and I doing
Yeah,
that special event at Town Hall.
Yeah.
So a lot of these big mega kind of churches of the time back in the 80s, they would buy time, and Farrakhan would buy time. And that's the first time I ever heard Louis Farrakhan. The interesting thing about him, it's the first time I ever heard people talk about information the way that he would present it and how he would connect the dots. So one time he came into the station and he did his program live. And I made for sure that I was working that shift. And so after he did his program live with his guys, with the bean pie guys, right? And the whole 9 yards, they were there. I asked if I could, spend 15 or 20 minutes or so and interview him in the production room. And he said, yeah. And we got into some great conversations. Even at that time, I was starting to look at the world from a more of a conspiratory kind of ideology. Even in the early 1980s, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. I was reading books like that and questioning a lot of things that we learned in high school and college and our education. And I thought he was so fascinating. And the thing I liked about him, he wasn't trying to pound the religion down my throat. You know what I mean? We just had a great conversation about his knowledge. So Wolfman Jack and Louis Farrakhan were two of my most favorite interviews of all time.
Yeah, and two very different.
Oh,
people,
two very different.
Totally.
We came out of the radio business, so Wolfman Jack was an idol of mine.
Oh, yeah.
My whole life. As a little boy, I used to listen to him come broadcast out of Mexico on a scratchy radio in 1966, right?
XHRM?
Yeah.
No. Was it?
No, the one before that, the one in Del Rio, Texas.
Yeah.
That's still there, by the way. And if you ever go to Del Rio, Texas, stop into that station.
Yeah, I know the station. I'm trying to remember the call letters.
They have a whole museum of Wolfman Jack, and the original owner's family still owns that station.
No kidding.
At least 6 or 7 years ago. My buddy Walter Kahn, when he was moving from California to Florida, he stopped in at Del Rio, Texas, because we were both Wolfman Jack fans. He was 13 years older than me, but we both loved Wolfman Jack. And so he stopped in, veered right on his way to Florida to go to Del Rio, Texas. And he actually met the guy. The old man had just passed away, but the son of the man who hired Wolfman Jack. And that's a station across the border that got shot at by the federales.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that was the station. So he actually went across the border. The son actually took him across the border, and they had a whole museum of Wolfman Jack. He took a lot of pictures of it, and I saw it, and it was just, but yeah. So those were the two interviews. But I've interviewed a lot of people, man. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of actors, a lot of politicians. I've interviewed a lot of people. It's been very interesting.
What was the worst interview you ever had?
The first interview I ever had?
No, the worst.
Oh, my goodness.
The worst.
Oh.
The one that you would like to beat in the head with a microphone.
The one that I wish I could just dissolve and not be there and teleport someplace else.
Turn your mic off, drop the mic, and walk away.
Oh, my.
Yeah. That one. We've all had them.
Okay. The worst one I ever did was in 1978, 1979. And they were coming through town, and I was working at I was helping my godfather, who was at KLAC, the country radio station, in 1974 when I was 14 years old here in Los Angeles. So he sent me out. I'd work with him time at his Armed Forces radio program. So he sent me out to kind of do interviews of country stars, and I knew nothing about country music. Country music was like, ding, right? So this guy comes through town, and I interview him, and for the whole interview, I'm calling him Merle Haggard, right?
No, and it wasn't Merle?
The whole interview, I'm calling him Merle Haggard. So I'm talking about his music because I did research, and I said, okay, great, right? No. And so when I show up, well, Merle Haggard he couldn't make the interview. He wasn't there. But nobody told me that I was going to interview somebody else. So
That's
I'm interviewing this guy that I think is Merle Haggard, right? And the guy lets me go 20 minutes, right? And so I interview, and then he says to me, "Oh, by the way, you're Harry Newman's godson?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "My name is Buck Owens." I had no idea.
Oh no,
who
you
Buck
didn't do that
Owens
to
was.
Buck.
I didn't know who he looked like. I didn't know what he sounded like.
You didn't know nothing.
I didn't. The only thing I knew is that he had hee-haw, right? But I didn't watch a lot of hee-haw. So, I mean, I couldn't put the face together, and I'm nervous at 17, 18 years old, right?
Wow.
Nervous. I'm going to interview the great Merle Haggard, right? The great Merle Haggard, the guy who was in prison and came out and redid his life. Well, guess who gave him his first job?
Who?
Buck Owens.
Buck Owens.
He was part of the Buckaroos.
Wow.
Merle Haggard was, and that he gave him the first job. So I had no idea. And so a couple of days later, I get a call from my godfather, who had a voice like God, right? One of these deep voices. He was the original voice of Cops when it first came out, and he was a voice of Channel 13 here in town. And he said to me, he says, Jesse, I can't even attempt to go how low he could go. He goes, Jesse.
Jesse.
You go out yeah, right.
That
next
kind of
time
thing.
you go out and interview, just make sure you know who you're talking to, all right? Because Buck Owens gave me a call, and as much as he loves Merle Haggard, he thinks he's a whole lot better than Merle ever was.
Oh my God. That's too funny.
Oh, so here's the irony. Irony.
The irony is
No,
that
the irony.
irony that
irony.
too. We're late.
Yeah,
Your show is over.
We gotta go, don't we?
Yeah, it's 6:02.
Oh, okay. Okay. But here's the irony. I worked for Buck just for a spit of time, and then I got a full pay later on.
All right. Good night.
I never forgot that story.
Good night.
Anyhow, 11 most powerful antibiotics. Turmac is real good. Echinacea, raw honey, and colloidal silver. Very good. So check that stuff out. Put it in your box. And apple cider, garlic, ginger, horseradish root, onion, habanero, paper peppers, echinacea herb, raw honey, and colloidal silver. Hey, it's a crazy show. A lot of fun. A lot of free spirit today on the Jeff G Show. 5 at 5. Enter the world according to Torero, and we release you to the rest of your day straight on the 5 at 5. It's the Jesse T Show. And remember, now beauty is off duty. See ya!